Welcome to African Rescue of Integrity, and my name is Victoria OfRrohi. We're glad to have you join us on this program. Today we have a very important guest. He is the Director of KMTI. This is a Bible school that trains pastors, equips pastors to do the good work. And he will be telling us more on a project started to rescue children in Kenya. As we all know, so many things are happening with children of a teenage age. It is a very sensitive age, and therefore we need to take that initiative to help the children grow into a good environment, to become what they are supposed to be. And God always has a plan for these children. He says his plans for them is not of evil, but of a hope and a future. So God intends to bring these children according to what he intends them to be. And therefore he has taken this initiative, train these children to come up with good habits, come up with a good foundation for the future generation. Larry, tell us more about yourself and what is the main agenda which brought you? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm from Alabama in the U.S.
Yes.
Have been a missionary for 40 years.
Yes.
I'm the father of 2 children. I have a 47-year-old son with 4 grandsons, and then I have a 43-year-old daughter with 2 grandchildren. My only granddaughter, and they were missionary children when they were very small.
Wow.
So they've grown up, and I, of course, being their father, I've been in Kenya for 40 years.
All right.
And I've been a missionary for 40 years, but I started in Haiti
Yes.
in 1980, and then I went to the Philippine Islands.
All right. Okay.
And then after the Philippines, I came home to Mobile, Alabama for a short season, and was then found by Mr. Gary Henley, who's was the Director of International Outreach Ministries, which is our mother ministry.
All right.
He found me, found my gift, and said, I have a mission in Africa that I would be interested in seeing if you and your wife, Beverly, would go and look at it with my wife and I, and we came.
All right. Okay.
And today we're here 20 years later, or I still remain, my wife has passed.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
So it's a wonderful project that you have started, that you are actually implementing. Tell us more about it. Pursuing here in Kenya.
Well, of course, when I came to establish at this school that was developed by Dr. Leroy Curtis. He developed this school in the very late 80s, early 90s. He's a very brilliant PhD in theology. And when he had written the curriculum himself, as he wrote it, he would travel and would teach these books. And as he found out that it fit within the culture, then he continued to pursue 8 quarters of development. One of the things he found, Victoria, in Kenya is that this was in 1989, so we're talking a good while.
All right.
When he found that 80% of the Kenyan pastors had never finished Form 4.
Okay.
So we developed a curriculum that we could bring men and women in that had never finished Form 4, but they could read and write at a 6th grade level.
Okay.
And from that reading ability to read, we let them read a small book in the Bible, and they took a small test, and if that was their qualification. And of course they had to be in ministry and under a bishop or a senior pastor.
All right. So you were able to train them. Did you train them?
Right. What I did immediately upon my arrival was Dr. Curtis was injured pretty badly in a automobile accident and had to go home. When I came, there was no students. The school had been built, three beautiful buildings, curriculum written, but no students due to his illness. So when I got there, we began to travel into the villages. I love to travel.
All right.
And I started going to Bungoma, Webuye, Eldoret, and finding students who desired to go to school but never had the money. And then our school is very unique in that if a person qualifies, I find them scholarships for 2 years. And we scholarship a student 80% for the 2-year program.
All right, okay.
A man by the name of Pastor Mark Hoffman.
Yes.
From San Diego, California.
Yes.
He came to the seminar, presented what they have done in America with the hardest children in the world that are into drugs, sex at a young age, all types of misbehaviors.
Yes. Okay.
And they were able to reach those young people over a period of 20 years. And they've changed their city. Well, when he told me and let me read this book, I was just overwhelmed.
All right, okay.
And that was in 2005. And
Yes.
I immediately went to California, spent some time with him, and saw how they operate Youth Venture.
Okay.
And what they do is go into schools, or in America, you cannot go to schools. You have to do them after school.
All right.
So,
after school hours.
After school hours, they have what they call Bible clubs.
All right, okay.
But in Kenya, they still have Christian education in the public schools
All right.
and the private schools. And we were welcomed by the teachers. They said anything that we could do to help their girls, mainly, from not dropping out of high school from teen pregnancies.
Larry, just tell us, what criteria do you use to train these children?
We began to read and understand this book that if we could reach a child between Standard 8 and Form 4, if we could catch them very early.
So that's the age between 13 years to 18?
Right, yeah, when a young person hits puberty.
Yes, exactly.
Once they hit that and their whole body starts changing, then they mentally start making decisions for themselves.
Yes, it's true.
They do.
Yes.
Younger kids are playing. These older kids are developing who I am.
Exactly.
I'm a beautiful young lady. I'm a handsome young man.
Exactly, yes.
And so with that, we do what we call character training to help them learn to make life's decisions without destroying their lives.
Okay.
Still be able to be in school and fit in with people, but to not become part of what everyone else does.
All right, okay.
To be able to make decisions for themselves and to find out, here's the questions we get. They say this to me, Victoria, who am I? Where did I come from?
Okay.
I'm just a black student living in a mud house in a village. Is there any purpose for my life? Am I of any value? We're very poor people. And of course, we are Christian.
Yes.
And we come in and share with them that no, they're fearfully and wonderfully made by God.
Yes.
And that God doesn't make mistakes.
Yes.
And that through the fact that God has a plan and a purpose for their lives and a future, we wanted to help them understand how they might know the Lord, how they might come to a relationship with Him, and then for Him to guide and direct the paths of their life.
All right, okay.
In 2005, Pastor Mark Hoffman from Foothills Church in El Cajon, California, came to Kenya and shared at a conference about the vision of reaching the next generation through Bible clubs in public and private schools. Pastor David Kibet, a KMTI graduate, attended that conference and got the vision for these clubs and began them in the area of Eldoret, where he was overseeing a number of churches. He started in one primary school where he began reaching young people of the age of 9 to 16. Changes in the students' lives have opened many doors in both primary and secondary schools with the headmasters. Is truly making a difference in Kenya's next generation. After training 27 pastors in the degree class in Kenya and over 50 pastors and teachers in Uganda, they have set a goal to reach over 5,000 additional kids in schools and churches, neighborhood everywhere this year. Large church organization in Eldoret has invited the Youth Ventures team to train their youth workers with Youth Ventures materials to reach the next generation in Kenya.
You have taken the initiative to start this program of Youth Ventures. What do you intend to accomplish?
This program is not this is not an educational program. This is a spiritual program.
All right, okay.
And we have them about an hour a week.
Yes.
And it has been very helpful to the headmasters. We've seen teen pregnancies drop in areas 60% in in 5 years, where they tracked them.
Yes.
And for me, I just see God doing tremendous work with the Kenyan young people. Yes, they're picking up a lot of our culture, but if we can bring them to understand it's God's culture, if they can do it God's way rather than the American way,
Exactly.
because our way is not the right way,
All right.
but it's God's way.
Yes.
I am an American and I love my country,
Yes.
but I've met a people here that are humble. I've met a people here that are not arrogant.
Okay.
I've met a people here who are kind.
Okay.
And when someone walks in that kind of character,
Yes.
they're teachable.
All right.
God can change or give them
Yes.
clear direction for their lives if they're willing to be able to receive. And most Kenyans do
All right.
very much receive from us.
Okay.
So for me, it's an honor to touch the lives of young people.
Thank you so much for watching us on this program of African Rescue of Integrity. It's so amazing what God is doing by using His servants, and we thank so much for bringing Larry here to tell us about the youth venture program that they have started at KMTI, which will bring a big change in this nation. God bless you.